Excellent. Great music. Great music.
I just
Great
felt like
music.
playing quality.
Great music. As I said, you have the genius, and all you have to do is promote everything. You're really great. My next question:
Thank you.
how do you see the folk, country, and rock scene, not only in Montreal, Quebec, but in Canada in general?
How do I see it? I see it as country folk rock and roll. I got a song called Country Folk Rock and Roll on the album. And promotion. But how do I see it across Canada?
What's the future of the genre of folk, rock, and country music in Canada?
I mean, there's so much folk music in Canada, especially in, as and there's so much indigenous folk. There's so many talented songwriters in Canada, and there's the carry tradition. I mean, I spent my time in Montreal. That's my greatest. That's my kind of. I've gone across the country. I've performed, but I grew up in Montreal. Montreal's a cool town because it's there's so much culture.
Mm-hmm.
So many ethnicities, such good food, and tons of music festivals, and it's all there. For instance, like out in the Maritimes, there's folk and Celtic influences,
Mm-hmm.
Irish music, so it's. So I got a piece of that in Montreal in the pubs. And all the songwriters and the open mic nights, like that was just one part of my experience, but there's some great Irish pubs in Montreal, Hurley's and Grumpy's and Honey Martin. I gigged a lot with Honey Martin. I got a song on the album called Honey Martin. I'm not gonna sing it just yet, but there's artists. I mean, if you're asking me about like top charting artists,
I'm talking in general. I'm talking in general. The future of rock, the future of country, the future of folk music. If not all of Canada, at least in Montreal, Quebec.
Well, we got a great country folk rock and roll record coming out in a month. I don't know. It's hard to predict right now how things are going. I mean, if you ask me about folk music, that's just music in general to me. It's people making music with the instruments around. So there's plenty of people doing that. If you're asking me about the industry, I don't know. It's strange. It's a strange place right now.
No, I could care less. I could care less about the industry. I'm more like in tune with the independent artists, and in addition to the independent artists, with those who really have the talent, and the people in the streets. The industrials, we already know what the industrials are. I'm talking about the independent artists, the alternatives, the true culture like you.
I don't know, man. I think a lot of culture falls through the cracks. I mean, a lot of like talent. I don't know about all the great talent out there. I know great talent. I think as long as people continue to make music and play their, in whatever form they know how, it continues.
Yeah. Besides YouTube.
I'm just saying, there's so many. I don't even know how to qualify like independent artists anymore because there's so many people there's tons of people making music. I know tons of songwriters in Montreal. I mean, like hundreds. I see talent all the time. I see talented musicians. I think it's part of human nature. If you find it everywhere. I'm sure, like, if I could roll through any town and there's any town and find amazing musicians, like incredible musicians. They're around, and and they're doing their thing. produced a record with this band Smoke Spell, Jason Lachyville and Crystal. Crystal. And they're an amazing. She's an amazing songwriter. Jay's like, he's got a phenomenal voice. He plays stand-up bass. They do the duo, and they got a kick on the cajon, so they tambourine. It's real tight, and Crystal writes great songs. So we made a little EP, and they've been gigging around Quebec. They've been they bust as much as they can during the summer, and I mean, I think Crystal is like one of the. I think everybody should check out Smoke Spell. She's an incredible songwriter. You should talk to Crystal. And she's only been playing guitar for like a year and a half. She comes from a punk background. She was sung for Chicks and Dicks, which is a pretty well-known kind of underground pretty well-known underground. I don't know. But they were a punk band in Montreal like 10 years ago, and I knew about them. She was the lead singer. Jump ahead 10 years, she decides to pick up the guitar. Her and Jay link up, and she's writing I'm talking. She's a good songwriter. She's like a serious songwriter.
Yeah, you tell her to follow me on Instagram Live, and then we could have probably arranged an interview with Crystal.
Yeah, you should talk to her and Jay. But
just give her my Instagram handle, and we'll take it from there. My Instagram handle is Alvarez-Galloso. I'll give you all the information after we're finished.
Sounds good.
So you could just simply give her my handle, and we'll take it from there. Where besides YouTube, where can we also find your music? Where can we find your music besides YouTube?
I switched everything because I was running with. I keep saying I have this bad case of the John Cougar Mellencamp's because everything's officially in Jesse Stone Creatchman right now. It was Jesse Stone and Spotify for a while, and so I had to move everything over. But now you can pretty much find me anywhere at Jesse Stone Creatchman. So on Spotify, on Amazon, on Apple Music, and iTunes, and my website is jessestone.com. But I think Jesse Stone Creatchman gets you there too. I'm pretty sure I made sure of that.
Yep.
And it does.
We're going to be having a lot of Jesse Stone Creatchman for a long time. And it's going to be a great blessing not only for Canada and America, but also for the world. We need more musicians like you, and we need more musicians and more of your music. Never underestimate yourself. You're one of the greatest.
Well, that's what I keep telling everybody. Thank you. Seriously. I feel like you've done a lot of complimenting me during this interview, and
yeah, I'm telling you the truth.
If it's worthy or not, but I appreciate it.
I'm telling you the truth. I heard as I said, I saw everything from you.
Well, I can tell you one thing. You can be ready for a whole lot of Jesse Stone Creatchman music, because I've got, in terms of I spent 4 years on this album, which was much longer than I'm going to spend on any of my next couple albums. Mm-hmm. I've got a lot of songs, and I'm excited to put them out. There's some that I've been sitting on for a while. I made the first record. I had every intention of following it up as soon as possible. But life happened, and I'm glad life happened, because that's what gave me the inspiration for the new album. All that exact period, including while I was recording, and what was going on in the studio, and I really put it all out there. And I've got. You've clearly done your homework, and I appreciate you talking about the whiskey song and Fisherman, and all these, and like you said, some songs that aren't recorded yet, they're just live on YouTube, and thank God they are, because if I get hit by a car,
Yeah. Before I leave, you talked about John Cougar Mellencamp. How has his music influenced your music? How has John Cougar Mellencamp influenced?
I just ripped off John Cougar Mellencamp. That's all I've ever done. I love John. I grew up on his records. I know probably small. Ran on Scarecrow. Was it? Rumble Seed. What's the name of the damn record? Ran on Scarecrow. Is that it's the one with Small Town on it? And American. Oh my God.
He had one called ROCK in the USA and another one called Hurt So Good.
His songs?
I think those were his songs.
His albums. American Fool. No, I was just rolling through all the names of his albums in my head. I mean, I listened to a lot of John Mellencamp. A lot. Especially that American Fool record. And I saw him at least 3 times. I saw him quickly. I saw him at the Hollywood Bowl play a split show with John Fogerty in like 2006. I was with my family. I love his moves and his attitude.
That's great.
And his words. You know, he's a damn good songwriter.
I know, not that I know him personally, but I've heard his songs. These are the people who write based on the truth, based on reality. You have composers that compose something and it's not based on reality. It's just simply based on walking on thin air or a sandcastle in the beach. But music like yours, or music like John Cougar Mellencamp or Bob Dylan, or even Arlo and Woody Guthrie, those are the ones that have withstood the test of time. And I want to congratulate you on that, and congratulate all the other artists. Never forget that.
Thank you.
My only wish is I could continue more on all of this. But again, I want to get everything taken care of, published, and I want everybody to know Jesse Stone Creatchman. The only thing I'm going to ask of you is to if you know of any artists who want to follow me on Instagram and in YouTube, I'm leaving you my YouTube address and my blog, and I'm also leaving you my Instagram handle.
Good, yes, I'll be happy to share it. And you told me that this is going to come out on YouTube, I believe.
I'm recording this on my Canon camera, and I'm going to convert it to MP4. And when I convert it to MP4, I'm going to place it in YouTube.
Good. I'll share it out. And if you want to talk about yourself too, because I know I have some people on here. In terms of, I know you've got your website as well, right?
Yeah, I'm just simply the host, and I have a Spanish and an English program. And my biggest program in English is either the AG News Show, which is interview of artists that are not country and rock, just other genres, and Americana Bistro Grill. Actually, it was a program that I developed when I was a part of AMI Radio. There used to be a radio station here in Florida, AMI Radio, Anna Maria Island Radio. The president was Casey Hoffman, the vice president was Bob Herman, and there was one great announcer, Michael Blanchett. I'm very grateful to these 3 people who have helped me in launching into the English language programs. As I said, I was born in Ohio, so I went into AMI Radio in 2014 doing a sports program with Mike Blanchett, and then somehow I was talking about country music, rock music, Americana music, and Robert Herman said, well, instead of sending me CDs, do a program yourself. Since I have a big weakness for restaurants, and I had very big weaknesses for restaurants when I visited Canada 2 times, 1965 and 1988. 1965, I was 3 years old, and I do remember a sort of like a restaurant that had folk music. I was only 3 years old. And 1988 was also there, but I didn't get to Montreal, I was in Toronto. Since I was a big fan of food and everything, I formed the Americana Bistro Grill to bring a lot of artists and have them play their music. It was a great program until Robert Herman died in 2017. With him, AMI Radio died, and I wanted to keep the music alive, so I kept Americana Bistro Grill alive in my blog for those who are into country, rock, folk. And the rest is history.
Yeah, well, yeah. Sounds like you were a big music fan from a young age.
I have a collection of all forms of music, and not just Latin America, Cuba, and Spain, but I also collect Celtic music, folk music, rock, country. Celtic because before Cuba, as I told you, my ancestors were from Spain. They were from the Celtic part of Spain called Galicia. Galicia is like the first cousin of Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Isle of Man, and Cornwall. And on the mother's side of the family, we were French Basque, where you had a lot of the precursors of or the ancestors of also today's folk and country music. So I wanted to bring all of this, and I also wanted to help all of the artists that are needed, because you are essential, and your music is also essential to the earth.
Well, I'll give you this, Roberto. I think you're essential too. Yeah, I agree with you when you said, when you were talking about when you're the folks who you attributed to getting you into radio and your success, your various successes, mentors, perhaps in some ways.
Yes.
I very much, as I reflect, and the more I learn in my reflections, the more I appreciate the gestures of others over time. You know, like I can see the action. You can measure the action after the people who are there, who have like been there for me, or just but not just for me, but yes, especially like the good people along the way. People who've been supportive of my music and my songwriting, and there's been periods. I mean, I'm pretty stubborn. I'm pretty set in my ways in terms of like, this is what I do, and this is what I'm going to keep doing no matter what. But it was definitely it's always a continual learning experience. I mean, just you're making art, right? So there's no. But anyway, just especially with the motivation, and people taking the time to encourage me, and and help me kind of get over my fears of my songs are shit, or I'm wasting my time, because like for every song, and you're right, there's like a stack of like songs that you're like, oh, I'll get to them, you're never gonna finish, and they're never gonna be there. I don't know. The point is there's the good pile, and there's the medium pile, and there's like a whole lot of other pile. But sometimes to get to the gold, you got to keep digging and digging and digging and digging, and you got to get all the crap out of the way until there's a line, there's a hook, or there's did I just blank and here it is, the new song of the day, which happens. It doesn't happen every day, but it happens.
Great. I do want to wish you the best. I'm gonna give you all of my handles and everything, so you could share them, and also bring the also artists that you recommended to me. Have them follow me on Instagram and on YouTube, and I will get to them so we could do an interview with them also.
Yeah, absolutely, will do.
Because you already mentioned many names. And I want them really to come in. But right now, Instagram is telling me that I have to cut off, and my Canon camera is also cutting off too. So I just want to wish you the best, and for the general public, peace in, peace out, and peace everywhere. Not only in Halloween, but also in Thanksgiving, because Canada has Thanksgiving, and we're going to be having Thanksgiving here too, and also in the Christmas season. Please, peace in, peace out, and peace everywhere. We have to get together and enjoy the great music, especially the original music, like the one from Jesse.
Thanks for having me, Roberto.
For me, it's a pleasure and an honor. You take it easy. We'll be exchanging addresses as well. See ya.